segment. Here we're going to start with Thursday Ravens at the Bucks. The second great game on Thursday happens now. Lamar versus Tommy, and both desperate for a win.
Who you taking?
I'm going to take the Bucks at home.
Okay.
I mean, you got to know that Lamar, Tommy, Mike Evans, Mandrews, if he plays, Chris Godwin, Lenny, they're all in play. I'm guessing a lot of people with bye weeks might have to play Gus or Duvernay. I'm going to go ahead and call my bust out as Mike Evans. I'm going to call my busted. I'm going to say my busted is going to be Devin Duvernay. I don't think they're going to really do anything through the air. If they do, it'll probably be to Mandrews.
Okay, and Tobin.
I got the Bucks at home. I've got I'm going with Godwin for my breakout. Selfishly, he's on my roster, but I feel like Mike Evans gets so much attention.
That worked for you last week.
It wasn't bad, but whatever.
Okay.
And then my busted, I think it's Mandrews. I think there's a little more to the injury, and I think if anybody's going to also scheme, I think you might see the Bucks take that page that we saw last week and really try and take him away.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm taking the Ravens. I think the Bucks at this point in time are
Washed up.
No, difficult to take until we see some consistency of what we're going to get from them.
You think you need to catch up somewhere, so you're just going to go opposites today?
I have mine all written down before I get here, guys.
Okay.
So this is, my bust out going to be Lamar. I think Lamar's going to run wild. I think Lamar's going to have probably 120 yards rushing with the touchdown. My busted player, Tommy B.
Oh,
yeah, could be. Funny you say that because I talked to Billy, of course, on the way over here.
Shocker.
Yeah, a huge shocker. And one of the things that we talked about is he's like, man, I really want to play Tua since they play Detroit, but how can if Lamar goes off on my bench for 202 passing and 122 rushing, I'm going to be livid, because you'll never get those points back.
In that case, Billy, set Lamar. Lamar's a good set. Yeah. Set him. Yeah. Okay. Next game.
Sunday night, Packers at Bills.
Tobin?
they might hang 100 on them. I'm going with the Bills. Allen is my bust out. He's going to be, it's going to be a fireworks show, I think.
It's going to be his.
It's going to be a fireworks show for the first half. In the second half, you're going to see their backs because they're just going to be milking the clock because they're going to be up probably 2-3 touchdowns easy. My busted's going to be Lazard. I don't think he has anybody that can really win, and I think Lazard's his only proven commodity, and I think Buffalo's just going to take that away. And Aaron Rodgers is going to meet this dude named Von Miller a few times, I think.
I think he's going
to be enjoyable to watch.
Yep. Well, I'm with you. I'm taking the Bills. I think the Bills, they've had several coming out games this year. This is going to be a highlight of that as it comes out and shows you how talented they really are. My bust out is Allen as well. How can you not go with him? My bust is going to be Aaron Jones. That's the only weapon that they have right now for the Packers. I think the Bills are going to take him away.
Yeah, I'm going to make it a clean sweep of at least the winner and the bust out. The Bills are going to smoke the Packers.
That means the Packers win going away.
Not close.
I will take that bet, actually. How much will you let me put on it?
Josh Allen's going to go off here. I think that the surprise player, and I'll play him in the DraftKings KFC Sunday night game in the MVP spot, is James Cook. I think, like Tobin said, in the second half, it's just going to be, especially in the fourth quarter.
So is that your bust out player?
No, Allen's my bust out. I'm just saying that there's going to, if you play that KFC game, putting James Cook in that MVP spot is going to set you apart and allow you to put in all three of the main stars for Buffalo, Diggs, Allen, and Gabe Davis. For the Packers, the only player that you can start is Aaron Jones because he's the only proven commodity they've got. My busted is Aaron Rodgers.
I almost went with A-Rod and decided not to because I think that he might actually show some heart this game, but we'll see going forward.
Alan Lazard, by the way, check on his status. He does have a shoulder injury, I believe, that may keep him from playing.
Okay, next, Bengals and the Browns. I get to go first. I'm going to take the Browns for the win. I think they're going to finally control the ball, hand the ball to Nick Chubb. I think Chubb's going to be my breakout player of the game because I think that he's going to touch the ball 25 to 30 times. And if he does, the Browns win. My busted player of the game is going to be the Cincinnati defense because they can't stop Nick Chubb from running the ball. But I do expect there to be fireworks offensively from the Bengals. I don't think there's any way that the Browns can shut the Bengals offense down consistently throughout the game. Tom?
Now remember, this is on Halloween night.
And they both have orange.
And they're both orange. One orange and brown, one orange and black. This is going to be, and it's in Cleveland. This could be.
The dog pound's going to go crazy.
Could be very, very frightening. Burrow and Chase are super hot. I think this does become a running back battle. I'm going to go ahead and say my bust out is going to be Joe Mixon.
Okay. Who'd you take for the win?
I'm going to take the Bengals. I don't think that the Browns can stop the Bengals right now in any way, shape, or form. I don't care if Nick Chubb has 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. They're still going to lose because Jacoby Brissett cannot guide the offense well enough to keep up with the Bengals, and he'll be my busted player. The key thing to watch in this one, and will drive your betting, Kareem Hunt might be traded before this game starts.
Mm-hmm. He is rumored to be gone anytime.
If something happens, Tobin and I talked about this before the show too. If Zeke is injured and ends up not being able to play, I'm not going to be shocked if the Cowboys go and get Kareem Hunt.
Be a great pickup for them. That's what they need to make that offense work. Tobin?
I've got the Bengals here. I think they're just able to just flat out outscore the Browns. I think it's going to be a pretty good game, but again, kind of like Tommy said, I mean, you got Burrow versus Brissett. I mean, that's
a mismatch.
That's a big tilt of the scale there. Until somebody proves they can cover the damn guy, I'm going to go with Jamar Chase as a bust out because, I mean, you've had whole teams try to cover him these last few weeks, and he's still just been exploding. So my busted is going to be Cooper. Because I mean, it could easily be Brissett, but I've got Amari.
Okay, Giants Seahawks, Tom.
Crazy game. I would have never thought this was a 6-1 Giants team going across the country to play a 4-3 Seahawks team.
Oh no, we thought this was going to be a game that was 1-5 versus 1-5
to be the underdogs again.
Yeah. Wow. Gosh.
Pick one.
I'm going to go with the Giants. Primarily because DK is out. My bust out player is going to be Saquon. I think this is a game where Saquon can go off. If Austin Eckler can, I think Saquon's way more talented. He's at least 6 inches taller. I think he'll go off. My busted player, I'm going to go ahead and take Geno Smith. I don't know what it is about this Giants team. Frankly, I don't get it.
It's the coach.
I don't get it. I don't understand how this guy is making this big a difference because with this crappy roster.
He's putting his players in positions to highlight their strengths and minimize their weaknesses.
A lot of these players don't have strengths.
True.
I'm just telling you, it's unbelievable what's going on.
They're in the NFL. They have strengths. Tobin?
Yes, compared to you or me, yes.
Tobin?
I'm going Seahawks here. I feel like at home that 12th man is legit. If you've never heard it, get up there and see a game.
It's insane.
It's just crazy. Whether DK plays or not, I think the bust out's going to be Lockett. He's one of those little dudes that just finds a way to get open, and the Seahawks have had a few of them. I mean, he's this generation Steve Largent in Seattle.
Yes,
just always finds a way to get open. Not the fastest dude, not the biggest dude, but always finds a way to get open. So Lockett. My busted's going to be Danny Dimes. I think he's been living the life.
La vida loca.
I think this might be where the bubble bursts. I think he's going to have trouble, A, communicating. B, he's got nobody that can win on the outside. So I think if they focus on taking away Saquon, he's going to be running for his life.
Yep. Well, I too am taking the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are at home, and that's the key difference in this game. The noise factor for the Giants, who are used to playing in front of nobody. My bust out's going to be Geno Smith. I think he's going to come out and have a game like he did the first week when he was highlighted against against the Broncos. There's something about this team for the Seahawks that seems like they're putting it together a lot quicker than what we thought they were going to. A lot of eerie comparisons to the year before they really got good the first time around. I'm not saying Geno Smith's going to be that person, but the team itself is structured and looks like it's playing well. The defense is coming together really, really well. I think it's going to create problems for Danny Dimes, and I have Danny Dimes as my busted player of the week.
Both of these teams, the same thing is true. The coaching has gotten all the players on board with whatever the message is.
Mm-hmm. Don't disagree.
And they're just battling.
Okay, Tobin, Cardinals at the Vikings.
I've got the Vikings winning this one. The Cardinals secondary has shown no signs of life in stopping anybody. I think Justin Jefferson might go for $150 at least here today. My busted is going to be Connor if he plays. I think he's come back off injury. Playing on that turf is not friendly. So that's where I'm going.
Okay. Well, I too am taking the Vikings. I think the Vikings are probably the third best team in the NFC at this point in time. Probably more likely the second best one because I still have the 49ers kind of thinking they're better than the Vikings, but I'm not sure about that at this point in time. Number one team, definitely Philadelphia. My bust out's Jefferson. I think Jefferson's going to probably go for 225 and 14.
I was rounding down.
Okay. I think it's going to be 14 catches, 225. I think he just has one of these days that you just wide receivers dream about. My busted player, Murray. Until proven otherwise, Murray's going to be my busted player almost every week as a Cardinal. Tom?
Yeah, I just find that amazing because Kyler Murray, I think one of the things I talked about last week is Kyler Murray's like the number 6 QB.
Yeah, but he keeps making these bonehead plays that cost his teams wins or put in positions where they can tie or go ahead in the game.
Yeah, but we're a fantasy football podcast, so I can't bust a guy who's scoring 20 points every week.
Yeah, I wish my quarterback was scoring 20 points a week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Vikings here. Don't get me wrong. The Cardinals aren't talented enough to keep up with the Vikings. They don't win the game against the Saints last week if Andy Dalton didn't throw the Cardinals 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that was the best, 2-minute drill I've seen in a long time. It was very efficient.
Right. You've got D-Hop here, who's the old stud receiver, against JJ, Justin Jefferson, who's the new stud receiver. My bust out here is going to be neither of them. It's going to be Adam Thielen.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because
he's going to go with that until it happens. You know that, right?
No, he's ridden that horse. That horse has been beat to death by now.
They've had a week off. They're going to abuse people thinking they're going to go to Jefferson so much, and Thielen's going to have one of those stupid, 6 for 60 and 2 touchdown days.
Yeah.
Just because it's in the red zone.
Hey, Tommy, can you take this call? Elmer's Glue's calling that horse is going to the shed.
And you're busted.
My busted, I'm going to go ahead and say D-Hop is going to be my busted. He had a huge game, but this is going to be he's going to match up against his old teammate, Patrick Peterson.
Who both lost a step, which means they're equal.
Yeah, but Patrick Peterson's still a decent cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, folks,
Tommy's always wrong.
Well, that's true.
And going back to this, Murray as my busted player, how many points would you expect a quarterback to give you on a weekly basis?
At least 20.
Okay. How many do you think Murray should give you on a weekly basis?
At least 20, because he can, whatever he doesn't get on the passing side, he should make up with his legs.
See, I think Kyler Murray should probably give you more than that because he makes it up with his legs. And he doesn't get it there. Passing wise, he doesn't get you those points. The only reason why he's a top 10 quarterback is because of his legs.
Yes.
And so is Danny Dimes.
Yes. I agree.
Take that away, and they're both not that good.
I agree.
Okay. Next on the list is the Steelers at the Eagles. This is my turn, isn't it?
Sure.
I'm taking the Eagles just like I'm going to ride that bus for a long time. I think the Eagles are the best team in the NFL right now, especially with Robert Quinn being added to their defense, which means the Steelers might not get 150 yards in total offense. My bust out player of the week is going to be A.J. Brown. I think he's going to come out and just show out coming off the bye week, and he's just going to show why they paid the price to get him. My bust is going to be Pickett. I think that defense is going to be confused. I think he's going to be running for his life. If I could possibly pick up the Eagles defense to start them in any fantasy league, I'd be doing that in every league that I could get him in. Tom?
Yeah, I love the Eagles here, but the Steelers are too damn ornery not to be competitive. You said it right. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Goddard, Hurts, they're all must starts. And right now, the way he's playing and the way Raheem Mostert tore up the Steelers last week, you got to start Miles Sanders.
Bingo.
He's going to be my bust out. I think he's just going to keep it going. He's another guy. If you did something stupid and punted RB2, you drafted Christian McCaffrey, and then like in the 6th round, you drafted Josh Jacobs, and then the 7th round, you drafted Miles Sanders. You're laughing all the way to the bank.
I drafted Miles Sanders in the 11th round in one league.
Okay. So if the Eagles have trouble with Zeke, I think they'll have trouble with Najee. Maybe Pickens or Claypool do something here, but I agree with Doc. I think it's going to be Pickett, especially with the addition of Robert Quinn. They added him today. He's playing on Sunday, people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's plug and play on defense.
How hard is it? You get him.
Kill. Sick balls, Chopper. Go.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Tobin?
Fly, Eagles, fly. The Steelers are going to lose that Pennsylvania battle. It's not even going to be a battle. I agree that it's going to be pretty explosive probably on the Eagles side. I think the Steelers, they said it well on the Monday, was it Monday night or Sunday night, whenever the hell they were playing. They said that they're just hard to kill. They're hard to kill. They just hang around. But I think this one's not going to be that case. I think this is 10, maybe 14 points minimum. I've got Devonta Smith as the breakout. It was a coin toss between him and AJ. And then Pickett, it's a trifecta on the busted. He's going to be A, running for his life, and B, his top 2 dogs are going to be covered a lot.
And I think that's what you're going to see with the Eagles receivers down for the rest of the season. It's 1 or 2 weeks in a row, it's Brown.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 weeks, it's Smith.
Well, pick your poison. You can't double them both.
Right.
Yeah. And with Goddard, you can't double him. You've got to choose somebody. Somebody's going to single coverage. Who does? That's going to be the one that goes off.
Yeah.
Okay, Tom, 49ers at Rams.
Well, Debo has that hamstring thing, but I don't think they'll need him in this one. CMC just tore up the Rams with a much crappier team in the Panthers a couple of weeks ago, so he's going to really get off again. I expect Ayuk and Kittle to do well here. For the Rams, Kupp's the guy. I mean, until further notice, he should be the number 1 wide receiver because he's going to get the first look every time anyways. I'm going to go ahead and say Ayuk is going to be my bust out. And I'm going to put Darrell Henderson as my busted player here. I don't think they're going to let anything happen on the ground or to the backs. Okay. I'm going to take the 49ers to win this one.
Tobin?
Yeah, I've got the Niners. They just got their butts kicked this last week, so they got something to come out and prove here. I think they're going to take their new shiny toy out for a ride this week, and I've got CMC as the bust out. Dude's smart. I mean, he's a Stanford guy. He's going to pick up that offense.
He's already got it down
really quickly. So I think he's going to have a lot of fun, and he seems to play well against the Rams. So
the only thing I didn't like is what I thought would have been great is if with the 49ers, 22-5, none of those numbers were available, which are his other numbers, if he would have got 87.
I don't know if you can put that in the backfield.
You can.
You can now.
There's no number restrictions anymore. Okay, who's your busted player, Tobin?
I'm going Debo. I think his, they added another weapon. I think you're going to see A, his running game disappear. B, with the tweak on the hammy. I mean, he's one of those guys that, he's a tight muscle guy. He's very,
he's a fast twitch guy.
He's very prone to that. And, if he tweaked it one week, he's either going to be guarding it or he's going to blow it out. One of the two.
Okay. Well, I'm going with the trifecta. I'm taking the 49ers. I think it's not even going to be close. The 49ers actually close out the Rams' playoff hopes at this point in time, in my opinion. CMC is going to be the bright, shiny star in the galaxy that puts up phenomenal numbers this week. 49ers, actually, this is when they start righting the ship and getting everything going forward to close out and win the division later. My busted player of the week, Stafford. Matt Stafford looks like he's having problems with his arm, doesn't have the arm strength or the accuracy with which to do it. He looks like Detroit Matt rather than Ram Stafford. Okay, Tobin. Excuse me, is it my turn? Or
Doesn't matter.
Pat's Jets, Tobin.
It's against my better judgment, but being at home, I'm gonna take the Jets in this one.
Jet, Jets.
You know, I don't love that pick, but I'm gonna go with that. My bust out player is gonna be the Milfinder. I'm gonna go with Zach, which is also against my better judgment going against the Belichick team because those young quarterbacks tend to struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's got just enough weapons there that, and he's got just enough of an ego and chip on his shoulder that I think he's going to pull this one off. My busted is going to be mac and cheese. I think, you know, his pride got bruised pretty bad getting yanked last week. So it's going to be interesting. I think he's going to almost try to force things. So I'm going to go Mac Jones for the busted.
I'm taking the Patriots because Belichick confuses young quarterbacks. I think that the Jets right now are down weapons, and that's not exactly a scenario you want going in against the Patriots. And you also want the Patriots being upset and mad, especially for the performance they put on this past Monday night. My bust-out player, Ramondre Stevenson. I think he's probably going to rush for 120 and touchdown, control the game on the field at that point in time. My busted player is Zach Wilson, the exact opposite of what you're doing, because I think Belichick's going to confuse him so easily at that point in time. Tom?
Man, I think I'm gonna pick the Patriots here.
Oh,
in a very close one. I really want to pick the Jets, but not only did the Jets lose Breece Hall, they lost Elijah Veritucker, who is their best lineman.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're supposed to get some of their tackles back, so maybe Dwayne Brown and George Fant come back in this one. But Matthew Judon is a beast on the defensive line, and he is going to come off a corner, and he is going to kill Zach Wilson at least once.
Okay.
So I am, though, very tempted to take the Jets because I don't think Belichick needs to scheme to something. And he's not going to be ready for whatever they're going to do with James Robinson and for whatever it's going to look like with Garrett Wilson. Because the Jets just haven't played the same players. So it's not going to be easy for him to scheme this up.
Okay.
But I'm going to take the Patriots. My busted player is going to be Mac the Jewel Kicker Jones.
And your bust out.
And my bust out player, I think I'm going to have Pat's D. I just think that they're going to be the reason that the Patriots win this. It's the exact same thing I thought probably would happen against the Bears, as the Patriots D would just control it. I think they do that to the Jets.
Okay. Well, Raiders at the Saints. I'm taking the Raiders. They're starting Andy Dalton over a healthy Jameis Winston. Exactly what does that say for your team offense at that point in time?
Allegedly, Jameis isn't quite as healthy as what he should be yet.
Yeah, my bust-out player is going to be Jacobs. I bad-mouthed him early. I'm going to pick him now. Till proven otherwise, which I think is going to happen sometime soon with that hamstring going to pop. My busted player is going to be the New Orleans quarterback who throws more touchdown passes to the opposing team than his own team. I don't actually think he does that, but I think the potential is there with Dalton being the quarterback. Tom?
Yeah, I got the Raiders here. Marshawn Lattimore did not practice today. If he's out, they have no chance to stop Devontae. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that he's going to be out, and Devontae is going to be my bust out. My busted is going to be Alvin Kamara. Until they give the ball to him more, you cannot give Alvin Kamara the ball 11 times rushing and give him 8 passes only. That is not utilizing your best player to his best ability.
Especially in the last year, you're going to have him likely.
Yep. Tobin.
It pains me to say it, but I'm going to take the Raiders in this one.
Wow, are you okay? Do you have a fever?
Yeah. I'm having heart palpitations just saying that word, but the Saints, they're just not there right now. I too am taking Jacobs. The dude's just been a machine the last few weeks, and until somebody shuts that down,
They couldn't stop Benjamin.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, that makes Derek Carr really, really freaking dangerous too. Because if you can't stop the run and he's got time with play action, look out. But I'm going to take Jacobs because he's going to be the key to the whole thing. My busted, just like last week when I said Saints QB1, again, I'm going to go with Dalton. I mean,
hey, hold on. He was the player of the game last week.
Andy Dalton, because he was definitely the player of the game with those
6 touchdowns.
That 2-minute drill.
He had 6 touchdown passes.
That 2-minute drill was unlike anything I've ever seen.
Okay, Dolphins Lions, Tom. As he takes a drink, perfectly timed as always.
Gosh, yeah, I have Jets in here, but it's supposed to be Lions. I apologize. Yeah, you got to go Dolphins here. I mean, they're arguably the more talented team. I just can't put a bunch of faith in Jeff Goff. But this should be 40-35, 40 to 34. Be a very
entertaining game to watch.
Yeah.
51.5 is the number. So yeah, Vegas agrees.
Yeah. My bust out is going to be DeAndre Swift. I think they kept him out last week just because they didn't want him to pick up the blitz against Dallas. I think they're going to let him run wild and try to keep the ball out of Jeff Goff's hands, except on play action. My busted player is going to be Mike Gesicki. This guy is not a tight end
who's on the trading block.
He's a slot receiver. For Kansas City, he's a tight end in the Travis Kelce mode.
Mm-hmm.
He is not a blocker. He is a move tight end, but he is not fit for this scheme.
Okay, Tobin.
I'm going to take the Lions at home. I think this is the upset. This is your chance to gain some ground, maybe, guys.
Nope.
I'm going to take the Lions at home. I think getting Swift back is going to be just enough for them. And I just don't know if the Dolphins can score enough. I mean, that O-line from Detroit is legit. I think with Swift going, and he's my bust out. I think Swift back, he's a weapon. And I agree with Tommy. Gesicki's my busted player. I mean, he's kind of suddenly like their fourth option and has fallen into the Kyle Pitts blocking tight end mode. I mean, you're just wasting a talent. And he's not even that great a blocker. That's the crazy part. I mean, they've got better blocking tight ends on the roster. But they think they're pulling the old. I mean, he thinks he's a mad scientist running that offense over there. And
I'm so glad you said that. That's one of the things that I just yelled at the screen the entire time. It's like, dude, you can be the greatest person guy in the world and say all the right things to these guys, but you are over your skis.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk that when they turned away that field goal, that there were Vegas implications, and I mean they're not wrong. Why would you not go up 2 scores? I mean, try and outthink everybody.
Yep.
But yeah,
well, I'm taking the Lions as well. I think they're at home.
Crap, Tommy, you're probably going to win this one.
I think the Lions are at home. I think Jeff Goff, who is my bust out player of the game, has one of those games that he can do, especially at home. Swift's coming back. Doesn't have all the weapons because Amon-Ra St. Brown's not there, but he has enough weapons with which to get the job done. My busted player of the game is Tua. I think that Tua is being exposed as the quarterback that he can't be by the teams the last few weeks, and I think you're going to find out how his limitations are going to impact the fantasy ability of the wide receivers and running backs in that scheme. And like you said, I think the coach is in a phenomenal job for Miami, but he's out over his skis trying to be too creative and too smart.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to keep it simple, stupid.
Yep. Tobin, Broncos at the Jags.
In London.
Yeah. Breakfast at Wimbledon. I mean, wherever this is. I'm going to go Jags just because, I don't know.
They're used to playing. There's a home game for them.
Yeah, that's a home game. In fact, there's been talk of them moving there, actually. So could be interesting. The Broncos are just so bad. And as a Chiefs fan, I love to talk on the Broncos. So I'm going to go Jags. I've got Etienne's going to have a little bit of fun in his newfound RB1, like bold role without having to look over his shoulder with Robinson. And then busted, you can count on it for me right now. I mean, everybody's going to say Russ probably, but I'm going to stick with Judy. That dude is just not clicking. I don't know if it's the offense, the quarterback, what. There's something wrong, and there's a reason they're talking about trading him.
Well, but he was 7 of 96 last week.
Had a good week last week.
Yeah, well,
Because
maybe he needs to
Sauce-
work with the second team.
Well, Sauce shut
Sauce
down.
was shut.
Sutton.
Sutton. That's why. Yeah, that's why I set Sutton.
Yep. Well, I'm taking the Jags as well for all the exact same reasons because the Broncos' offense is so bad. Their defense is everybody's rumored to be being traded on their defense from Chubb to everybody except for the cornerback they drafted last year in the first round.
Surtain.
Yep.
I look for them to be the team that holds pat. I don't think they have a fire sale.
Well, they've got to be able to sign those guys, and that's the issue they're going to run into, especially with Russ's contract. My bust out player, I think Lawrence has a career game in London. I think that he likes his fish and chips. I think that he's going to be looking for house over there because the Jaguars are rumored to be translocating there one of these days. If the NFL ever expands, and if they do expand, they're going to put 2 teams probably in England.
Really, the plan allegedly is a 4-team division that will be located in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how Spicoli plays in Great Britain long term, though. I mean, he's got that surfer dude vibe. I don't think that plays in London.
My busted player is Russ until proven otherwise. Russ Wilson's my busted player until, I mean, let's be real. The dude's done.
It's a safe bet.
We said the dude was done last year at this time. Dude's done. Tom?
Wow. I'm gonna go with the Jags here too. The Broncos actually went to London today, I believe, and Russ was doing exercises on the plane.
He was running sprints up and down the aisle.
Yeah, he was doing high knees and all of that crap in the plane. Amazingly, no video has surfaced to this yet. He's my busted if he goes. If not, it'll be, I forgot who their backup is. Brett Rippon. That's right. I should remember that since he's the nephew of Mark Rippon.
Who got you your last ring?
Who got me the last ring 30 years ago.
When you were 2.
And there's not another one in sight. Let's be honest.
Faux show. I mean, I think that the Broncos skill players could still do well because the Jaguars really can't stop anybody. I know that Christian Kirk is going to get the Pat Surtain treatment, so he's going to be terrible. I don't feel good about any Jags outside of Lawrence and Etienne. I'm going to guess that Etienne can do a Breece Hall and break some runs and be the bust out player.
Yeah, Vegas has this in the turd in the punch bowl, 39.5. Jags favored by 2.5.
You just can't. I mean, the Broncos defense is good. They're good.
They're good. If they had a competent offense, they would be a very good team.
Yes.
This one will be interesting, though. Watching, I saw the Jags are the home team, of course, and so I saw their grounds crew working on that pitch, and that grass looks very long.
It is very long.
It's not going to be a fast track, so this will be interesting to watch because there's a lot of speed on both these teams.
Okay, Tom. Commandos versus the Commodes versus the Colts.
Let's go, Commando.
We are still the Commanders. After a win,
Commodes.
we will be the Commanders.
You're the Commodes until
After a win
Dan
against
Snyder's
Aaron
done.
Rodgers.
Bingo.
Do it.
I almost want to do a Tanya Snyder and say hail to the Redskins.
He just did.
Thank you. The Colts went to Sam Ellinger. You know, we've got a chance in this game. I don't care whether it's, at the Commode or in Indianapolis or on the moon. I expect McLaurin to do well again. Robinson is a King Henry Light. He's also from Alabama.
He's not a King Henry Light.
He is King Henry Light. He is a big dude. He's 6'3", 225. He's not.
He's King Henry the quarter.
Okay. Light. For the Colts, if this doesn't mean that JT smashes, I don't know what the Colts are going to do. Although we can't really stop the pass either. I'm going to say JT is a bust out, but I'm going to say Ellinger is the busted.
Okay, and who are you taking? The Colts to win?
I'm taking the Commanders. I think JT runs it up and down the field, but the Colts have shown they can't stop anybody else.
Wow. JT's the bust out, and then Ellinger's the busted, right?
Yep.
Okay. Tobin?
Gonna give him the kiss of death. I'm taking the Commandos. And I agree. I think McLaurin's going to have a day. I think Heineke and he have that connection. I think that's his safety blanket, even though they're going to try and take him away. And then the rookie quarterback. I mean, he's going to be his next pass will be his first one in an NFL game. It's a tough league for rookies. Let's just be honest. Even without a great defense, but I think that defense has got just enough.
Okay.
So,
well, I'm taking the Colts. I'm taking the Jabroni Ponies. Don't really want to, but I don't really see how
you're going to make up any ground in the picks?
No, I have my pick. I haven't written down before we get here, so it doesn't matter who you take. I take what's written down. I'm just not impressed by the Commandos' offense. The Commandos' offense, I'm not impressed with. Heineke's my busted player of the week. My bust out's going to be JT, who I think they finally turn around and feed the ball to about 25 times, and he runs for 140 and 2.
Yeah, I think he's going to smash. The thing that if they keep throwing him passes out of the backfield, it's just like King Henry. It's only going to make the running game better.
Oh, I don't disagree. Okay, Tobin, Bears at the Cowboys.
I'm taking the Cowboys.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
The Bears looked pretty good the other night. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna take the Cowboys at home. They're 9.5 point favorite. I think Vegas is with me on this one. So I've got Pollard as the bust out. Zeke's iffy at best, even if he's hurt and shows up to play, which he's known to do. I think this is the one where Pollard, it's not going to be huge numbers. I could see him running for 75, 80 yards and receiving for another 50 or 60 and probably pick up a TD somewhere.
Okay. You're busted.
I'm going to go Mooney. Fields is much better running the ball than he is throwing the ball right now. So take your pick in the Chicago receiver core.
Okay. Well, I'm taking the Cowboys for the win just because I don't think that the Bears have anything that can stop them. Especially now with Quinn being gone. That takes away any and all pass rush that the Bears are able to generate going against the Cowboys.
Did that hurt you to pick them?
A little bit, yeah.
How about them Cowboys?
I got Dak as my bust-out player of the week. I think Dak's probably going to score somewhere between 25 and 30 fantasy points this week as they try to get back on track offensively, especially with the screen game to Pollard. My busted players, Fields looked good last week. They're going to figure the Cowboys are going to take that away with Micah Parsons being the spy.
He might be faster than Fields.
I'm sure he's faster than Fields.
And I know he's bigger.
He's way bigger.
Tom?
If I didn't already know that Micah Parsons, I think, only had one sack at Penn State, I was going to think about, well, how many times did he sack him at Ohio State? But I've got the Cowboys in this. My bust out is going to be CD. I think CD gets off here because I think they just want to feature Dak in this one. He knocked the rust off last week. It's in Dallas. This is one where I think they just boat race them. And I think without Robert Quinn, they can't generate any type of rush, even against that crappy undermanned Dallas line. My busted is David Montgomery. They're going to put Herbert in there to pick up the blitz and to get screen passes and all that stuff, and it's still not going to work.
Okay. The last game that we're going to go through is the Titans at the Texans. I'm taking the Titans. I think the Titans absolutely own Houston. And the person that has the deed in his back pocket and rushes it with him is Derrick Henry, and he stiff arms everybody through the lineup. I think he's going to stiff arm the students on the plane there just to get in practice. My busted player is going to be Davis Mills because that offensive line is not going to be able to contain the Titans pass rush. I think Tennessee probably wins 24-17, 24-10, some score like that because Tennessee's offense just isn't lighting anything up. But Derrick Henry is going to probably have at least an 85-yard run at some point in time in the game. He always does against Houston. That's what I got, Tom.
For my notes in here, I put, why is this game last? Because if the Texans gave up 143-3 to Josh Jacobs, get ready for 220-2 minimum from King Henry. He owns the Texans in Houston. Remember, he set the rushing record there in the final game. He needed whatever it was, 227 to win the rushing title. He had like 267. Don't play any other Titans.
I agree.
I mean,
you can play the Titans defense.
You might be able to play the Titans defense, but no other skill positions. The Texans have two playable guys in Dameon Pierce, who's a must start, And then Davis Mills is a backup or a flex or a super flex, that type of thing. My busted is going to be it's going to be Brandon Cooks. I mean, he does typically do well against the Titans.
Your bust out is Cooks.
My busted is
Okay.
is
Who's your
Cooks.
bust out?
It's King Henry.
That's what I thought, but I wanted to hear you say it.
I mean, he's if he doesn't have 102 touchdowns, I'm going to be mad.
Like I said, King Henry.
Mad.
You know, A-Rod says he owns the Bears. Well, Derrick Henry has the deed to the stadium in Houston.
He owns the Texans in Houston. It's amazing.
Yeah. Tobin?
It's a clean sweep. I'm going to take the Titans here.
Oh, God, we're dead.
King Henry, I mean, dude's the man. I know I don't want to tackle him.
Oh, no.
And seeing what the Texans just gave up to Jacobs, who's literally half of the size and maybe not as fast as King Henry.
Not even close to being as fast.
Good luck. My busted, I know Tommy said he's a must start on the Houston side, but I'm going to go with Pierce as the busted. I think that passing game is just not good. So all the focus and attention is going to be on shutting down the back. So I think Pierce is going to have some tough sledding. I think he's going to give it, he's game. He'll give it the old shot, but he's going to have some tough sledding.
And with that, we'll see how our picks come out next week and how many more games Tobin games on me as my picks are different.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying.
All right,
thanks everybody. We appreciate you sticking around. We'll see you next week.